Spoiler warning for episodes 1 to 4 of Sk8 The Infinity all throughout this video. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello everyone, my name's Link, here to talk about my first impression on a Winter 2021 anime. High schoolers Reki and Langa are hooked on one thing, a dangerous, top-secret, no-holds-barred downhill skateboarding race called S. When Reki takes Langa, a transfer student, to the mountain where S is held, Langa finds himself sucked in. These colorful skaters will take you through a thrilling story of skateboard battles and unlimited possibilities. You have to watch this show. It's a masterpiece. Do it now! Okay, I'm kidding. But I really do ask you with a sense of urgency to please pick up this show if you haven't already. Not to be confused with the other sports anime that has something to do with skating that also has a redhead lead that's always thinking about a lighter-haired individual. I wanted to cover this anime the first episode it was out. That's just how convinced I was that Sk8 The Infinity was the anime of the season, even against bigger established titles also airing this season. But I wanted to keep it real with the system of my other first impression video and waited until later. And I'm so glad that I did. While my general predictions and theories for the story stayed the same, and I'll talk about those in the expectation section, God, the characters and their relationship with one another they explored in the later episodes had me both in stitches and in love. There's literally nothing the anime can do wrong. It's so perfect. And I will defend that statement in this video. But before I can touch on that, I first need to rant about everything I love about this anime. And honestly, I can do this for hours, but both my computer and I will die if I make an attempt, so I'll give you a very condensed version of my love. The premise on paper seems really simple if you think about it. This wouldn't be the first anime where we see characters do some sick moves for the sake of their respective sport. But the way they hype it up, how Lasagna in the first episode came out as a total surprise, even though we knew from the pictures and the summary itself that he was going to be the protagonist with the show of this very premise. It played with our expectations that he'd be able to pull it off, but held back on explaining with words, and just delivered in a matter of scenes to establish just how casually cool Langa is. They never played him up to be some amazing secret prodigy that had some tragic backstory of why he's hiding his amazing powers. They showed you so you don't even question it. And showed they abso-fucking-lutely did. Bones outdid themselves this time with how dynamic and hype they did the beefs, which is what they call the skateboarding matches they have, while still looking realistic and sleek. The scene you're seeing now is the first trick Langa ever did to show just how insanely good he is at skateboarding. And just this scene that barely lasts more than a second has completely convinced me that Sk8 is going to be jaw-dropping gorgeous. I've come back to just that cut of animation multiple times a day until the next episode came out. The amount of times you've seen this scene in the last minute isn't even half of how much I've returned to it every single day. I might have a problem. And the genius characterization doesn't stop there though. I love the characters, they have so much. They're definitely the highlight of the show. I love it when the show introduces already established characters with their own firm grasp of their personality, as well as the rest of the cast having connections and history with one another. It just feels like a thoroughly lived-in place even before our main duos entered the scene. The fact that the rest of the supporting cast live like this double life when they're outside of S was low-key hilarious, but also adds an extra layer of wealth into their character, as they still interact even outside of S to give us more dimensions on who they really are and how they interact with others. Add to the fact that I see their secret personas to be like some kinda superhero thing, and it's those funny little skits I love when their work life melts into their superhero life, except it's just a constant thing that happens throughout the whole run of the series. And even more example to this is their ending, where they show that even these insanely cool skaters had their own fair shares of wipeout and fails, just like our main duo. And speaking of the main duo, I love them so much. They both subverted my expectations and I love them for it. I had thought Reki was going to be this dumbass, happy-go-lucky kid who speaks shit about passion and dreams and whatnot, while my first impression of Langa was that he looked like he was the stereotypical cold and calculating asshole who thinks he's better than everyone else. But oh god, Oh god, Langa, my stupid precious son. He is so freaking adorable and low-key kind of a loser. He's going to be the death of me. In a way, he's even dumber than Reki, because he is in a foreign land and still trying to get by with the Japanese culture after living in Canada for like 17 years. He can barely read and write Japanese, and oh god, he just fucking realized he is fucking illiterate! And is the novice in boarding with heels. And that little sparkly look he gets whenever skating's brought up stirs up my heart so much. Meanwhile, Reki is actually pretty smart and sensible. Like, yeah, he's still pretty impulsive when it comes down to his boards and skating. But the kid over here being an actual engineering genius in creating a completely new board that is specifically modeled for Langa. Meanwhile, I had to use spell checker to write engineer right in this script. And that board for Langa was specifically designed to not be rode straight. You know what else isn't straight? Individually, they're already such a delight to watch, but when put together, they're just two adorable dumbasses who share a single brain cell. I was so invested in their progression and their bonding that it would have made the rich mad. Their training montage and just watching Langa hit the ground several different ways made my heart just melt so much. They really conveyed how much of that was just pure passion for the art of skateboarding, while making sure that it's never lost how much fun it's supposed to be, despite the goal seemingly so far away. The supporting cast doesn't lag behind either. Cherry and Joe have definitely fucked before. They're so petty and at each other's throat, it's so funny. They went to the same freaking school? Kill me please, this is just too much. Mia, I knew from the beginning they were gearing up to be this sassy lost child with a sad backstory. And I can't say I was purely taken in with the reveal. It was kinda obvious the moment they said he was famous at such a young age. But it is a testament to how good the anime can deliver when I still feel somewhat attached to him once he's been part of the Nakama. I really do believe that cliches and overused scenarios can still be just as impactful as any gut-wrenching scene as long as it's handled right. And while I still don't feel like Mia's a new child I want to adopt, he's okay in my book, I guess. Also, I got really sweaty in a bad way when he bet that he'd be the tooth cat, only for him to lose in the end. Which, by the way, there's a message here about his board being smaller despite them being in the same general area. Most likely an homage to his young age and how he should stop acting as someone older than who he is because of his tremendous skill and achievements, and enjoy the sport as any kid his age would. But I'll just make a haha kid short joke here and leave it at that. Also, does he go to the same school as Sakura did? Then there's Shadow. He ended up surprising me actually. I thought he was just a one-off antagonist, the training dummy to show off just how good the protagonist is as an exhibition. And it was a curious thing for me when he started returning to the scene, until I found his reoccurring appearances a welcome addition to the experience. I did notice how he didn't really go for a redemption arc or something like Mia did. How that's just who he is. And his other side is just a lad working in a flower shop who's popular with the elderly ladies there. It's just his funky little quirk that he likes throwing firecrackers at the enemies for the lols. Because clearly, someone has a much worse habit than him. Adam has been a looming figure above everyone through his monitors from episode 1. This Cray in the morning and Gallo at night. Look, he's even topless. Hybrid has been painted as an enigmatic ghost who clearly showed interest in Langa as someone who can light up his passion and his other things, in hopes that maybe Langa can be the one to finally keep up with his dance. Or maybe just to watch Langa break? We're not clear on why he wants Langa, but honestly, who doesn't? And he did say he can be sweet with him if he wants. Because listen, as cool as all these things are, I didn't think they were wholly realistic. I could excuse the lack of safety gear because I see that often enough in real life to be honest. But Langa magically being able to master skateboarding so long as he has the momentum because of his snowboarding experience? I'm pressing X to doubt on that one. But to be honest, I can't ride neither, so feel free to correct me down in the comments below. But the shit Adam pulled literally had me on the edge of my seat. I was genuinely nervous for what could happen to Reki. I actually feared Adam in the one match he's appeared. The power scaling and demonstration of a threat has been set so expertly. Add the Langa and Adam's beef set up by the fact that Langa hasn't lost the 2 beefs he's participated in, we're trapped by the rule of 3s, in which the matter of love might be the charm, and losing to him has very devastating consequences. I've ranted about how amazing the characters are, and that's all in part for the talented director on the helm. But Sumihirko once again partaking her grace into the pretty boys, and after Free and Banana Fish, she knows what she's doing. I mean, you can't have Adam asking to touch Langa's leg and have that. And need I mention fucking this?
ランガ君、こうして僕たちが出会えたのも何かの運命を感じるね。お互いのことをもっと知り合うべきだと思うんだけどどうかな。
分かった。
僕は愛されるより愛したいタイプなんだけど君はどう？
甘いのがいい。
僕は尽くす方だよ。存分に甘やかそう。でもちょっと束縛してしまうかもしれないけど大丈夫かな？
好き。
よかった。きっと僕たち最高のパートナーになれるね。
I don't believe for a second anyone's gonna be kissing on this show, but she's keeping us drip-fed by being so ripe with shipping possibilities. And to be honest, this is gonna be one of the shows we're more well-fed actually. Amazing direction, incredible animation, bombing soundtrack, and a lovable cast. This is what I meant when I said that this show is perfect. The premise is simple but is executed with finesse and jaw-dropping Sakuga moments to spice it up. The story itself has never advertised to be the selling point of the show, so even if they barely have any development or don't really have any big twists, just going at this pace is already an enjoyable watch under the rule of cool. They literally have to be actively trying to make the show bomb for it to go bad after how strongly they presented the foundation of this show. From its hype-inducing opening all the way to its endearing ending, I cannot take my eyes off of it for a second. Whew, boy. The gushing went on for longer than I expected, so I'll keep this section short. I mentioned how my expectations were pretty much the same even since the beginning. And that's because what I'm most looking forward to was eluded by the opening. That shot where Ricky and Langa were inside screens only for it to go into static for Langa and then he disappears. The show's already established that the screen represents Adam and his power of information as the all-seeing eye within the realm of all those involved with S. And if that wasn't damning enough evidence, then we'll literally see Reki chasing for an unknown, presumably where Langa is, while Langa's image is replaced by things related to Adam. My interpretation of that is somehow Adam will try to monopolize Langa in his fascination, or put him out of commission as he's done with countless others apparently, separating him and Reki from doing what they both love together. I will say that I'm surprised Adams already appeared and challenged the main duo barely halfway down the anime's runtime. I thought he'd be like the series finale antagonist. So I'm interested to see how they progress beyond this point because I really do believe there's going to be a big turning point after Langa and Adam's beef. And this one is actually something my friend noticed, so shout out to Leo for calling attention to this one. In the opening, they only have the main circle of cast appearing. Yet, for some reason, there's this mysterious faceless man dressed in the maintenance team's uniform. There's also that red-headed lady, but she seems less compelling now. At first, I didn't take much notice of him because this section in particular seemed like it was just filling time with these random shots of less important people. And he was there as just a gentle reminder that, hey, tracks are being maintained, okay? But with how mysterious he was presented here, as well as the recent development of Sk8 just seemingly wanting to go beyond the limits of crazy, then yes, he does kinda look suspicious. Who knows, he might be some twist surprise final boss, or if I'm really reaching, then maybe Reki's old friend from that 1 second flashback. And to be honest, that's all I really expect at the moment. For them to go absolutely wild with what they can do. Adam already freaking me the fuck out with his narrator running to his parallel from the ground turning, and yet he still produces genuine anxiety from me. So they can honestly do whatever the fuck they want with this show because I trust them 100% that they know what they're doing, and clearly, them having fun with it is also entertaining for me and hopefully everyone else to watch. And that's it for this one, everybody! Drop a comment down below on your thoughts of this anime and your excuse on why you're not watching this actual treasure of an anime. Check out this playlist to see my other series where I review and recommend anime you might not have heard of. Are they hidden gems or do they deserve to fall into obscurity? Let's find out together. And as always, don't forget to leave a thumbs up if you liked the video and consider subscribing for all things weeb and anime. Bye bye!